Well, hello. Welcome to the Champagne Ministry. Hi, Nicole. Hey, Rhea. Welcome. Now, hi, Melissa. I hope that you have your libations. We'll get started in just a moment. I'm pouring mine currently. Hi, Rich. I miss you too. Welcome, welcome. I am so glad that you have chosen to join us here today. The Honorable Jan Perry. I see OG. Hey, OG. How you doing? I'm so glad that you have chosen to join us. And let me be the first to say, welcome to the Champagne Ministry, where we get lit, talk shit, and feel the spirit. I'm Reverend Rose, and today we will be discussing Sangria and spirituality. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, foes, and hoes of the Champagne delegation, welcome. As you make your way into the sanctuary, please find a comfortable place to sit, relax, and refresh your soul. The signature drink for tonight's sermon is sangria, so if you have not poured your libation, please run. Hi, Mr. Ray and Mary Chitty and Gail. Run, grab your libation, and prepare it now. Now, this is usually about the time of the show when the Champagne Choir begins its first selection. But the Lord spoke to me recently. He said, Reverend Rose. I said, yes, Lord. And he said to me, you must use your musical gift to uplift. And I said, oh, but I can't really sing. I mean, I could hold a little bit of a note, but I can't really sing, Lord. And he told me, you show up and I'll show out. So with that said, I'm going to try a little something new tonight. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Alta. And I got a song about it. Like to hear it? Well, here you go. And I want to know, how's the volume? Can you hear it? Yes, Rhea. How's the volume? Can you hear my voice? Test, test, test. How's it sound? Somebody let me know. Is it okay? Let me know in the comments. Reverend Rose, a gift from Mr. Richard Reyes. There are times in life when you feel lost, you feel depressed, you feel sad, hopeless, down. There are times when you don't know if you're worthy of love. Well, I'm here to tell you that you must believe. You see, God is with you. God made you. God is within you. North, south, up, down, east, west. You can't escape the love of God. And so anytime you get any of those feelings that we all go through, I want you to know something. You simply got to believe. And I just missed my cue. So let me rewind the song a little bit. This is why I'm not a professional singer, clearly. And here we go. I told you once before that he loves you and he needs you. But let me tell you once again, he is your closest friend. He'll never leave you, so let him hold you tight all through the night. He'll caress you with his tender care anytime and anywhere. Yes, he will. Woo. Hello, Tito. Welcome to the congregation. He will be right there for you. Yes, he will, Layla. So I have a couple couple of words for you to encourage you through any difficult time. Layla said, oh boy, you weren't expecting this, weren't you? I have some instructions for you that when times get difficult, I want you to follow. Are you ready for them? This is how they go. Hold on, be strong, be strong. Go within, yeah. You gonna win, yeah. Don't hate. Concentrate, elevate. God is great, He's there for you. You ain't got no work to do, babe. He made you and He'll pull you through. I'm gonna sing that for you one more time. You ready? Get ready, it's a lot. Hold on. Be strong. You go within, you gonna win. Don't hate, concentrate, elevate. God is great, He made you. He'll pull you through. He'll pull you through. That's what He's gonna do. He'll pull you through, bitch. That's what He's gonna do. I promise you, He'll pull you through. That's what He's gonna do. He'll pull you through. I know that's what He's gonna do. He'll pull you through. Is what He's gonna do. He'll pull you through. You gotta know He'll pull you through. He didn't make you for no reason. As Bethany says, you are here for a reason. And God has given you the ability to decide what that reason is. And if you make a mistake, guess what? He's also created the sunrise and a new day where you can start all over again and recreate the being that you choose to be here on this planet. I want to thank you for sitting through that sufferable performance. And I want to welcome you if you are just now joining us. Thank you. Hi, Casino. Welcome to the Champagne Ministry, where we get lit, talk shit, and feel the spirit. I'm Reverend Rose, and bitch, it's time that we get into spirituality over sangria today. If you have not poured your drink, it is now time to retrieve it and believe it. Yes, Malika, great to see you. Hi, Bethany. So with no further ado, I'm going to prepare to bring on our first guest. Before I do that, I want to let you know how it works here at the Champagne Ministry. We take a subject and then we divide it into 3 areas. Get lit, talk shit, and feel the spirit. Now for get lit, what we do is we talk about the good, what's positive about the subject. Tonight it's spirituality. Then for talk shit, we talk a little shit. We got to engage in a little criticism and find out what's problematic about it, right? And then, yes, Mary, we get to the feel the spirit. And for feel the spirit, that is when we discuss the spiritual truth. Because as you know, like I know, everything that happens in life is spiritual in nature. And with all that said, we're about to get lit, talk shit, and feel the spirit. Jessica Spencer, otherwise known as Sister Sangria. Thank you for joining us. She's going to come on and join us any minute now. I sent you a request. Oh, you have received the request. Yes. It's frozen. Your screen is frozen. Did you pay your internet bill, darling? Hello.
Hi, can you see me?
I can see you, but your face is frozen in like a gorgeous smile. Oh, it came back. It came back. Yes. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us. I made it through that song. I don't know if that tradition is going to continue. Okay. It's a little harder than I thought it would be. Okay.
You gotta believe. You gotta believe. You gotta believe in me. You gotta believe in me. You didn't know I was gonna do that. Hurt you. You gotta believe. Oh, you gotta believe in me. You gotta believe in me, girl.
Hey,
I won't I don't think my bestie's alone. I'm with you.
You know what? I needed you. Look, Malika. Malika said, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Nicole was quoting my terrible lyrics. Don't hate, concentrate. That was terrible. Mr. Ray is laughing. This is not. Richard's laughing. Y'all, that was supposed to be real. I didn't.
Wait,
Y'all think that was a comedy?
wait, we really didn't even plan it. I was like, oh, she got her mic. I ain't gonna leave her alone. No.
You know what, Jessica? Thank you for helping me out. Like when you were singing, I had so much more confidence. I want you to just start by telling people real quick, who is you though? Like just tell them, just what do you, just a little something about you. What do you do and where can they find you at?
I mean, I'm a spiritual being. You can find me at the Jessica Spencer. I did self-publish a book back in 2009. I had a podcast called Ascended Radio in 2011 to 2017. So I've been on this journey for a long time. And now I have a podcast called Ascended Queens with Jermaine Nichols. And I have a clothing line called Lesbo Apparel. And yeah, I'm a realtor. I do a bunch of stuff. I'm multifaceted.
Kind of nothing she doesn't do. But if you want to check her out, she's tagged on, all the previous posts. And, she's podcaster, spiritual maven, and all around beautiful person. She's my best friend. And I'm just so excited to have you here, Jess. We are about to get lit, talk shit, and feel the spirit. And the subject is spirituality and sangria, right?
Yes.
So first, before we get lit, I want to know from you, or I can begin, you let me know. What is spirituality to you? Who would you like to start?
I can go really quickly because I think spirituality, number one, is just who we are. It's like our nature before we've been traditionalized, socialized into being these external identifications that we've just accepted and absorbed as who we are, right? Like we don't even question it. Like I'm Black, I'm a woman. We don't even look up what those terms mean, especially in the language that we speak, which is English, which is very new. So like, what were we before we were that? And so to me, it's just remembering. And like I was thinking about this earlier, if you think about becoming a member to something, you are literally joining something, right?
Yeah.
Like you're becoming a part of something. So it's like remembering, like rejoining, reorganizing, like who you really are. So it's not something that, I think a lot of people think you have to like meditate on top of a mountaintop, but it's really just remembering, reorganizing, reassociating with who you truly are and letting go of the things that you're not. So it's not necessarily this huge, and I had to maybe take a trek that did look a lot like, what we read about,
Yeah.
but in the end, it's who you naturally are.
Yeah.
So it's like your intuition, the hunches, your gut feelings that you have, when you start acting from that place, when you start, no longer needing other like external validation, and you're literally operating from the standpoint of the unseen realm. When like for me, if something says pick up that napkin, and your conscious mind is like, why would I do that? But every time I don't, it's like, oh my God, later I had a dribble on my face and I needed a napkin. So, it's that small, but it's like really listening to the internal and balancing that with the external. Like your external will then be validation of what you're internalizing. Like instead of it being the opposite where your external is telling you who you are, it's really you manifesting the external based on who you know yourself to be.
Come on now. So what you're saying, two things I picked up on are spirituality is remembering or re-putting together or recalling who you really are naturally. And also relying on your inner guidance rather than outer guidance told to you as experienced by someone else, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's so true. And my definition is kind of similar, but just in different words. For me, spirituality is the practice of strengthening a direct connection between you and spirit.
Yes.
You don't have to have a middleman. You don't have to have a set of rules. There's no possibility of failure. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, it's a direct relationship to spirit or to God. And it's easy because you are already spirit and God. I mean, it is the substance of who you are. And if you think about it, everything in the universe and beyond has an internal, invisible, invincible intelligence that is innate in it. How does a butterfly know to turn, or a caterpillar know how to turn into a butterfly? How do birds know how to, fly south during winter time? How do a mother's breasts know how to swell with like the perfect formula of milk that a baby needs? Like there's an innate, invisible intelligence that is beautiful, and it animates every single thing that you can see, feel, and touch. That is spirit. That is spirit. And so it is directly, spirituality for me is directly connecting without needing a middleman to that beauty that is already within you. And then also being able to identify and see, oh shit, that beauty is in that flower and in that dog and in that man that might not have a home that just like smiled at me and went across the street, and in everything I see. And then I come to realize there is no other, and there is no me, and there is only one spirit. And that's when you start getting in the flow and being a divine vessel for love. So
a word.
We've defined our ideas of spirituality, but it's time to get lit, touch, and feel spirit. So we are first going to get lit. Literally. I would love for you to share with us. Name one positive thing, one good thing, one thing that gets you lit, excited. What's the bomb about spirituality?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say, I feel that you always have access to spiritual markers that bring you back to whatever experience you had that uplifted you. Like, I'm always like, okay, if I felt this great sense of freedom or peace or happiness at this moment, I try to remember that and use that as a spiritual marker. In 1997, when, maybe I, won the CIF championship, whatever it was, I'm just dropping a little bit.
You guys, she's always bragging about how she won the basketball championship in high school, but Lord have mercy.
But seriously, like, but whatever it is, it's like you can access that dimension in time. Like it's always there, right? Like we always hear things like concepts, like everything's always happening at the same time, past, present, and future. And I do believe that, but it's levels of consciousness that have access to it. So if you can place that like marker at some point in time, like, okay, let me pay really close attention to this. Let me really be in gratitude. Let me really like be very clear on what just happened, so that later maybe your energy level does dip a little bit. You can access a point in time in your life where you felt pure joy. And so I'm excited right now for humanity, because I feel like people are really accessing joy and accessing oneness, whether, their level of consciousness, could be at 10 or it could be at 1, but I feel like people are waking up, and that really excites me because, like I said, I did Ascended radio when 10 years ago, and people were not talking about frequencies in 5 dimensions and alien, like people were not talking about that. So I didn't even really promote it, because I felt like people were not ready for the things that we're talking about. And now it's so uplifting that so many people are experiencing. Not saying I don't believe in right and wrong, but it's hard to tell people. You have to get to a level of consciousness of that. Like when you teach a child, right, there's a reason that you teach them succinctly. Like you may say 1 + 1 is 2. You don't tell them about integers. You don't tell them about the caveats to that. You just have them learn the basics. Humanity knew just the basics up until now. Like now we're on the precipice of evolution. So we have to start to dig a little bit deeper and not allow for a mediator to constantly be telling us, or not allow for just one Jesus and one Buddha and one Moses to literally lead millions of people or billions of people. We are those people now, and we cannot rely upon these few people to lead the way. You are the way. And so I'm proud of people like stepping into that, and the people, listen, I'm going to be very radical right now. I'm going to say the people that want to, let's say, wear masks, don't want to wear masks, want a vaccine, don't want, if you're doing it with pure intention and with the consciousness of the highest level that you can, I have no problem with any of that. As long as you're tapping into your true self. Everybody's living in their own kind of multiverse right now. And I know people may not know that, because like I said, a lot of people still think in right and wrong. Yeah. That's very archaic though. It's archaic until you continue to evolve. And I don't mean it, this sounds very, but you got to keep going. There's more. Like right and wrong is something you tell a child when like, don't touch the fire because it's hot. Then when they get a little bit older, then you explain it's a stove, it's an oven. This is why I told you that because, don't come in when it's now on. Then you teach them how to actually turn it on. But you can't tell them from the beginning. So we have to know where we're at and you know what I mean? So that we can then evolve beyond it. So I'm excited about where people are at because there's a lot of things that we couldn't say before that we can say now and people may at least be with it a little bit.
I could not agree with you more. Like, I mean, you just dropped so many gems right now, but I agree with you. It feels like people are now ready for a higher level of awareness,
Right. Yes.
and ready to receive information and step out of the traditional bounds and receive the wisdom and now spirituality is a thing and it people are evolving and changing and growing.
Yeah.
And it might be accelerated because of the times we're in. I'm not
Yes.
sure, but I agree with you. And I think that's a beautiful thing about spirituality. For me, one of the best things that gets me lit about spirituality in general is that when I'm in tune spiritually, right? I can hear and see and feel God more, right? When I'm not in tune and I'm not paying attention, I don't, I don't necessarily feel a really strong connection. But for me, like, what I know is that God is always communicating to all of us.
Yes.
Sometimes it might be in English and the words we understand, but we have to understand God is a multi-dimensional thing, not a she or a he. It's an energy that's bigger than we can imagine. And it can speak in words, according to our language and what we understand. So that's possible. But God also speaks to us in the form of our experiences and our feelings and our intuition. And it could be like a bird that's chirping, or the sun, like when you're feeling like bad and it just warms your face in a certain way, or the crash of the ocean that wakes you up. I mean, it could be in the radio in somebody's car that speaks to you, but you're not in tune. You're not in tune with the frequency, so you can't really hear it. You're only waiting for God to speak to you in the way that you want it to come through. And so when the beautiful thing about spirituality is that it gives you direct access to the spirit within you. And when it's like the radio, right? There's a radio in your car, right? Or on your computer. And it's still playing, even if you don't have it on, tuned to the station, it's still playing. So God is still playing all the time.
Yeah.
Spirituality, the beautiful thing is that when you turn to the right channel, you're tuned in, you can hear it. The frequency never stopped. It was always all around you and within you all the time, communicating you and guiding you and loving you. But when you stop and you turn to the right channel and you tune in, you can receive and download that information.
Yes.
And that is the thing that I love the most about the spiritual path. So that's what gets me lit. What else gets you lit? Give me one more point, because I like to focus more on the positive, because we're about to talk shit about it too.
Right. I want to add to like what you're saying, because what, like, one of the first things that we always say, kind of like when you're on the spiritual path, is like release, forgive. That's really emptying your vessel of these energies that block you from remembering, right? So like, we are like almost a Wi-Fi channel. Like, your vessel is a signal, and the closer you are to your center, the clearer the channel is, just like a Wi-Fi network. So if you are literally in tune with yourself and you've cleared out everything that inhibits, all the static, all of the things that block you, like you have other devices going on, so it's distracting, or it's taken away from the power of your signal. But when you like start to really release and forgive, and you're so like just back to zero, right? Like, you're an adult, but now you're back to square one and being rebirthed into this reality. Now you're a clear channel. So you're signaling back to the universe, like, this institution that I feel very like ugly about, you're signaling back to the universe, something needs to be changed here.
Yes.
when you are literally watching and visualizing something, and inside of your body, like, you're clear, right? So you're not even in your ego or judgment. You're just like, ooh, this feels kind of off, like this feels heavy to me. You're signaling back to the universe that, like, something needs to be changed here. And
Yes.
so, like, right now, what's happening on the planet, I feel, is something needs to be changed here.
Yes,
Like,
God.
there are a lot of institutions that are out of balance. There's a lot of individuals that are out of balance, and something needs to be changed here.
Something
So
needs to change.
collectively, yes. So what's exciting about this is that for me, like, when I started on my spiritual path, and a lot of people, something happens. Like, I was always just curious, right? So when I was a kid, I was always spiritual, because I was like, what is God? What is the universe? And I would talk to my dad, who's also spiritual. But also, something happens in your life. Usually it's like a breakup. A lot of people say you have to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough. So when that happened and I emptied out my shell and I was just like a clear channel, I got to really, like, without judgment and without, like, how does this affect me, but how is this affecting humanity?
Yeah.
And that's, like, where we're moving into, is like, how, like, we have to start, if everything that's happened now hasn't affected you in a way that lets you be more kind and lets you be more patient, lets you be more grateful. Like, gratitude is a signal. Everything that we are literally experiencing is a signal. So we have to ask ourselves, what am I signaling to the universe? What am I telling the universe? Like, what frequency am I attuned to? And how is that affecting those around me? So, like, if I could say anything, if you're on the planet right now, number one, you're an extremely powerful soul. You are. We just went through incredible experiences that tested that. So just know that, and then act from that point, and then know that we don't have any more time to waste.
That's right.
Right? Like, we have no more time to waste. Like, we're beyond time. We're even moving beyond karma. Like, the law of karma is already done for people that have exceeded that. You have to understand that, like, just like archaeology and science says, we have evolved. Like, we think, like, spirituality is so woo-woo. Science says that human beings evolve. We're on the precipice of evolution. So there's certain laws that no longer pertain to people that are evolving. It's just like, if your brain was at a certain capacity, you're going to exceed that level. Now you don't need, like, certain types of tools. Now you've exceeded. Technology has allowed us, and our own inner guidance has allowed us to supersede certain states of being that we were at. So if you want to continue to use archaic tools, then go ahead and use Microsoft floppy disks. The rest of us are going to be downloading and uploading information. Yeah. We're a vessel that can do that. So clearing out those viruses, is there not a virus that happens at a computer, a software system, a database, a processor that then needs to be upgraded? We've created a virus. We've allowed a virus into our consciousness because we've stayed in. Like I said earlier, you have children that you tell 1 + 1 is 2. Now we're adults still thinking 1 + 1 is 2. But there are caveats to that. There are integers that we're not seeing. So now we create a virus because our database is obsolete. We have to integrate and begin to evolve. Now, because many of us didn't evolve, we created a virus that is forcing us to evolve. That's it.
Staying in my lane said a manufacturer reset, man.
Yes, that's my cousin. Yeah,
A reset.
that's it. It's that simple. Like, if you don't consciously participate in your own evolution, like, you go to work every day, but are you asking yourself, why am I here? Are you asking yourself, how could I have been a better human being? Like, when you're not doing that enough, then you literally become obsolete, and a virus has to occur, just like does in a computer, to wipe out the old system and bring in a new. That's it.
Okay, wait, what did you just say? You said when you're not doing something, you become obsolete. When you're not, like, updating?
When you're not updating, when you're not clearing out, when you're not releasing, when you're not letting go, we're holding on to old traditions and systems that do not work. And number one, are foreign to these lands also. So we had indigenous people that were here for thousands of years before modern man is. And we literally have to go back or forwards into, like, our ancient future present to be able to tap into what, and a system that works for all. We've adopted a system that is obsolete, and not only obsolete, it never worked, right?
It never, ever worked.
It never worked. So we got to let go. That's all.
Girl, when you are not constantly updating and growing, you become obsolete. and you have to, right? And
Yeah.
you also have to know when things are no longer serving you. If
Yes.
old dramas and traumas and relationships and triggers and things, when all those things aren't working for you, but you can't release them, that's when they, you know, you can't get rid of that waste. It creates a tumor and it creates stress and stress on the body, and that's where dis-ease comes from. It's dis-ease, right? And
Right.
so, you also have to know, don't simply do what you're told and follow what everyone is instructing you to do.
Yeah.
You have to be able to think for yourself, right? And so the last thing in the Get Lit section, I'm going to say what gets me lit about spirituality, which is kind of related to yours, is that spirituality was always a safe haven for those of us who never really got into organized religion. And I'm not about to talk shit about organized religion at all, okay? But I remember when I was young, we are from Chicago. We moved to LA when I was maybe 5 years old. And my parents wanted to get us, involved in the community and, create some new traditions for us. We were never church going people really, but we went to church, and it was like I don't know, it was a Christian church. I don't know what kind, but the preacher or the pastor was delivering the sermon, and it scared the shit out of me. He said the devil is coming to get you, and people were jumping up, and they're whatever good you do, the devil's gonna stop it, and he's trying to take your happiness and take your family and it was just, as a child, number one, it scared me. But number two, it didn't feel true or real, and it just didn't feel good to me. And my intuition as a little kid was rejecting this, and it was like, no, this might be, I don't know whose reality, it's just not my reality. It doesn't feel good to me. You know what I mean? Like, on a very basic level. And I told my parents, I said, what devil? Like, there's a man trying to get me with a pitchfork and like take me to hell. Like, this is crazy. Like, it sounded like one of the cartoons I watched. And my mom was like, no, that's not not literally or whatever. And I was like, well, she was like, that's not how it works. I was like, so why are we going there then? You know what I mean? And my parents, I was so fortunate to have parents that listened to me as a child, right? And said, oh, we don't have to go there. So we went somewhere else. And that place called Agape, the message resonated more with me. And I'm not talking badly about Christianity or any organized religion, because those are just more formalized ways of you following certain traditions that are supposed to connect you to the spirit. I mean, it's just I've heard a saying that there's many ways to get to the top of the mountain, but once you get there, the view is the same for everybody. So it's not about what path you take, but you have to know what serves you and what doesn't. And that, as a kid, I knew did not serve me in particular. However, I can go to a Christian church and literally feel God. I've been in a temple in Sri Lanka that is Hindu, and the priest blessed me with his incense smoke, and I felt God. I sipped tea in Morocco with the elder water carriers on a roof of a bazaar, and I felt God. Literally the other day, the man on the corner that sips from his paper bag said, bless you. And I said, bless you. And I felt God. So it's not about the method or the mode at all. But you do have to know, as, especially a conscious person in this world, what serves you and what doesn't. And spirituality has always been, for me, an outlet. It's such a relief to know that in the spiritual world, there aren't rules. You can't go to hell. You can't separate yourself from the love of God. You are God. You can't be punished. There's nothing that you can do that would surprise the all-seeing and the all-knowing. Hello? You know what I mean? That's not possible. So for me, it was a relief. And I could exhale and be myself and know that was okay. It's time to talk a little bit of shit. We've been very positive, and that's been wonderful. However,
I'm not feeling this light in here, but we're gonna go with it.
You're not feeling your light? There have been some people saying that you look absolutely beautiful. I think it was Mary Chitty, but you absolutely do. Absolutely do. So we are going to go into a little shit talking about spirituality. I'll start. And what I want to say is that spirituality is now on trend. I mean, even, Nordstrom's sells crystals and stuff. You know what I mean? So, like,
crazy.
It's on trend right now. I remember when I was in high school and I was setting up altars and voodoo and shit, and people were like, "You're insane." You know what I mean? To Marie
Yeah.
Laveau, the voodoo queen of New Orleans, and doing all that stuff. People were like, "You're really weird," and I was like, "Thanks a lot." But now it's like the thing to do, and that's okay because that's showing an evolution that's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
But here's what I want to say.
Go, girl.
I don't care how many crystals, how much sage, how much incense you got burning and going, how many ashy ankles with the MC Hammer pants with the kente cloth and the sandals. I don't care how much of that you're doing. What I want to know is how are you treating people? Your religion, your spirituality shows up in how you treat people. How kind are you? How loving are you? How open are you? How accepting are you?
Yeah.
That is your true religion. Your true religion is not the name that you give it or the church you go to.
Yeah.
It is how you treat yourself and how you treat the people around you in the world that you are creating with your thoughts, words, and deeds. That is my talk shit. Is that we're putting too much weight on being Mr. and Miss Spiritual or being on Mr. and Miss whatever, and we're not putting the weight on the action and the vibration that we are carrying in this world. Yeah. Jermaine says that part.
She's not lying.
What do you think? She's not lying. What you think, Jess?
She's not lying. Yeah, I think, like I said, I've probably been called weird or a conspiracy theorist for a long time. And a lot of things that are coming out now. I was like, I'm owed a formal apology from when I was in my 20s saying,
girl,
teens. Like, I remember literally having to not talk about spirituality.
Literally,
like,
we were
like
the weird ones.
Taboo. Girl, you and I did. That's when I was like, oh, okay, that's why you and I, like, and we're fools.
That's why we've always been connected. But no, I remember people tell me, "Oh, you're going to hell," and I was like, "Thanks."
Oh yeah.
Like I would never tell you that.
5th grade, and my friend was like, "You're going to hell because you don't go to church, even though you're a great person and you're patient, you're kind, and you're forgiving. You're going to go to hell because you don't go to this institution." And I remember, like, that just doesn't resonate with my soul. Like, I came into the world with an affinity for Egypt. My parents never taught me that there's things that happen within us that don't make sense in this world. So for me I stopped my indoctrination into tradition when I was a kid, because I was like, ooh, this just doesn't feel right for me. I'm sorry, like, it doesn't. Like, my ministry or my religion is kindness, like you said. Like, there's not that many people who be like, Jessica is an unkind person. Like, I've literally tried to touch people with, like, a smile or just a compliment or support in a way that lets them know that, like, someone else is here that believes in you. Like, to me, that's my ministry. One thing for me that has me talk shit is, like, I feel like a lot of people think spirituality is one thing. And, I'm vegan. I'm more spiritual than you. It's like, don't become the ugly part of religion now because you're spiritual. Like, I don't do this now. Ooh, I'm better than you. Like, it's still divisive. And what I know is that anytime I thought I knew something, because I had, like, a spiritual guru. I went to Agape. I also had a spiritual guru for like 4 years. Like, I did a lot of things. And so you get to a point where you think you know. And no, when you think you know, that's when the universe is going to challenge you. And you're going to have, like, I like to say, move from study to demonstration. So you go into, like, your freshman year of high school. You don't know what the teacher is going to put before you. So you're studying, and then you're going to take a test. And it's going to assess how much you knew. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to study a little bit more. You're going to have a midterm. It's going to assess what you knew and now what you knew from this point. And you know what I'm saying? But eventually you have to graduate. Yeah. That's where humanity is. We keep trying to be remedial and be held back. The universe is like, we can't hold you back anymore. you have to evolve. If ancient Egyptians knew more than you know right now, you have to evolve or get off the planet. So, exactly. I'm just saying. So I think people thinking, like, I'm vegan, it looks a certain way. It doesn't. We're all unique expressions, and there should be 7 point something billions of ways of expressing God or the universe on the planet. We're like branches to a tree, and then that branch has a leaf, and that leaf falls, and then it supplements the earth, and that has a purpose. So for us to sit here and say that it looks a certain way, and I think that's the thing that bothers me is people think like you can't be spiritual if like you drink or if you eat meat. No, no. Like again, that's divisiveness. It's the thing that you ran from with religion, and we need to move beyond, and we need to be accepting, and we need to become out. And I'll talk about this maybe later, but like the law of neutrality for me, like during COVID, has been like the biggest. I had no idea, but I moved into neutrality where I don't really identify with too many things at all anymore. I don't say I'm Democrat, Republican. These are man-made identifications for a spiritual being, a divine being that's always existed. Like I'm gonna let you, especially in the United States, like which I said is very new. I'm gonna let you, and you notice that we're always checking boxes. They're putting you in a box every time. I'm Native American. I'm Black. I'm da da da. I'm white. I'm a female. You are an energy. We have to have these vessels on this planet, like any other being that goes to a different planet has to wear a skin. It has to wear a suit, yeah, for the oxygen level there. We're just wearing a suit. So for me to identify so closely with those things, that has me be divided from other beings, has me my life be less enriched. I'm more rich because I can be with anything. I can be with the Trump supporter. And to me, I want to hear you as a being. Like I'm not going to stop at what you identify with. And now I can't know your soul.
Right.
Like like move into balance. And that's what I'll say about that.
Thank you. Look, you are spitting wisdom and it's resonating with people. Aja Adia says, lessons of challenges of the third dimension, I think, and divided from self. Jermaine says, we twerking for spirit. I can't stand you, Jermaine. Aja Adia says, evolve or get the fuck out. Period.
Yes.
And that's what's going to happen. Ikno Kim says, navigate from a place of love. Staying in my lanes has always been a kind soul. She also said, your journey with spirit or God is a personal journey. Don't rely on the preacher or the pastor or spiritual leader to lead you. Gwen Goodman, hi Gwen. She says, yes, how you treat people part. Like that's the part that she wants to focus on. I agree. So we talked a little bit of shit. I want to know, when it comes to spirituality, is there any way that you can express your vulnerability? Is there an issue or a problem or an experience you've gone through that people may or may not be able to relate to, that can show your vulnerability? So I'm going to give an example. This isn't that vulnerable, but I do not have like a daily spiritual practice. And I feel like, if I'm doing champagne ministry, yes, it's silly and lighthearted and foolish, and I'm like tipsy right now, okay?
It's my best.
But like at the same time, like I feel guilty because I feel like I should be meditating every day or praying. I mean, I know that there are no rules.
Yeah.
And there is no way that you have to be. Spirituality teaches me that you are already born perfect and fulfilled. And there's nothing that you actually have to do. You don't have to do anything to be accepted or to be loved. We're taught that by our parents, by the institutions that we grow up in. We're taught that you have to be something other than what you naturally are to be loved. And I think that's the root of a lot of our insecurities. We want to be successful. We want to be loved. We want to have a husband or a wife or whatever. We want to have kids. We're constantly seeking to be fulfilled, to get that next thing, because we think it's going to make us feel good, and we feel good temporarily, but then that's over. And then what's next, right? And it's a constant, well, when I get there, I'm going to be happy. When I get there, I'm going to be fulfilled. When I get there. But guess what? I'm sorry to break it to you, but millionaires and people who look like they have absolutely everything, a lot of times are some of the most unhappy people that come to the worst sort of demise because, like Jim Carrey said, I wish everyone could have all the money and success in the world so that they could understand that that means absolutely nothing. And so I've always, I know philosophically that I need to do nothing to be loved and to be perfect. But there's another part of me that says that you should have a daily spiritual practice. You should be praying every day or meditating every day. I feel like I go to God only when I really need something. And I kind of feel guilty about that. You know, that's when I really get in touch, is when I'm in a bad place. I'd be like, what the hell? But when I'm good, I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm still grateful and happy, and I still step outside every day. I'm like, oh my God, it's beautiful, trees and shit. But I do feel like I really get into more.
Yeah.
Are those fireworks really? It's not the 4th of July. But I feel like I get in tune more when I want something.
Yeah. But do your parents love you less when you ask for something?
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, so why would the universe or God? I've had daily practice for like years, and even me, like sometimes I feel like, ooh, how come, I was meditating 3 times a day for several years and now I'm not, but like it ebbs and it flows. Just like I said earlier, when you related to school, you study harder and other things that come, once things come natural to you, you move on to a different subject. And we have to move from study to demonstration. So part of like our challenge is we absorb what it is that we're learning, and then we come back out into the world to demonstrate it.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and again, we are remembering, reorganizing, rejoining like who we really are, which is
Mm.
naturally like, so we've gotten out of balance in this, what we've identified with is like masculine and feminine. And I feel like it's almost like, and I don't mean to be very sexual, but like a masculine energy is pushing, right? It's going into the void, and it's
Mm.
having to move, it's action, whereas the divine feminine is receiving and is just
Mm.
birthing life without having to do anything but sit there really, and then and go inward in order to receive. So
Mm.
we're moving from the pushing, from action. That's why you always hear, like back in the day, or recent, up until recent, was like hustle, 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 and it never
Yeah.
related. I was like, ooh, I don't, that doesn't resonate with me, because it's like action, push, push, push. Right now it's allow, be,
Wow.
receive. And we haven't had that because we've been in the masculine energy. Now we're moving into, I live by the airport. Now we're moving into balance, where we have to just receive. And that feels uncomfortable because it's not innate to us any longer, because we got so far out of balance. So it's okay for us to just receive. And I know it feels like we always, me, I'm like a Jamaican. I got a billion different things that I do,
Yeah.
just because that's just my nature.
Yeah.
But we have to now just really tap back into receiving. And me, it's hard for me to receive, but like
Yes.
it's okay to just be and allow, because life is going to happen through us, and like the pendulum is swinging back into the divine feminine, because we've been so far into the divine masculine for so long that we're out of balance. So it's always been do, move, 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 push, 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 and now it's just be and allow.
You know
So
what? That's so beautiful because, yeah, I felt guilt around, oh, I'm not meditating or doing all those things. But what you're saying is the divine masculine is the thing that's doing all the time. And our culture has been so centered on masculine strength. Like, masculine is the right way to do everything. Like, that's what we all aspire to be, is to be the doer, the shaker, and I'm cutting it.
yeah,
But there's a strength in the receiving and
yeah,
so birthing what comes through. And I
yes.
think that's amazing. Like,
And
I
think
never thought
about,
about it that way.
well, think about this too, right? Like we're always like, we're in the 3D. Like science will tell you like we were in the third dimension, right? And you can go into like what that means. But like the Trinity is like, what came to me recently is that the Trinity is duality and you. You're the apex. So it's you and then right and wrong. You and then black and white. You and then tall and short. You, when we remove our participation in the physicality, just being a vessel, then we can tap into the true apex. But we've been in the third dimension where we're the Trinity, we're participating in the second dimension. We're not even participating in the third, really. Like the third is encompassing us participating in the lower dimensions. So that's why we see a lot of in physicality, a lot of lower level aspects of fear and worry and doubt and all these things, because we're participating in them. If we remove ourselves from that energy, we would go up, like we would evolve. We would participate in higher levels of consciousness. So we're moving out of the 3D. Like if you look at sacred geometry, there's triangles on top of triangles on top of squares, like everything within itself. So we're moving again. We're just like, I could go on for days, but like we're evolving. Like you have like hominoid erectus, like we did that, and for some reason we can't we can't understand that we're evolving beyond what we were before. Like you had Neanderthals, we didn't really know where they came from, but there's, a journey of humanity, and we're in the precipice of that. And so you're able to download, like you're not a floppy disk anymore, which is physical, right? Like, so you put a physical disk into a computer and it spits out information. Now there's a cloud. There's an unseen cloud that you can literally upload information into. You don't have to have anything physical. It's the same thing as your consciousness.
Meaning,
That
so
easy.
if there's a cloud that you can access at any time, like it's not necessary to like pray or have these daily things. I mean, you can, of course,
Yeah. Whatever it takes for you to align with that.
but you can also, the cloud is there and can do an automatic update through you. How about allowing things to be easy? We think, like you said, like you have to hustle all the time. We're taught like hustle, hustle. You need to be a worker. You need to like push yourself. But what about when you are in alignment? Maybe you don't have to work hard. Maybe this whole work hard thing is the whole capitalist thing that they've taught you.
Yes.
That you would Monday through Friday all day long be at a job and work more than you do anything else in your life, and all you have is Saturday and Sunday to be with your family and the evenings during the week. Maybe they taught you that hustle because they want to design you to literally hustle. But how about life used to be, let me just step outside and pick this fruit and see what there is to eat. Let me like listen for the sounds of nature. Let me dance with my friends and family. Let me be who I naturally am without being identified by what my title says on a business card that you can reach me at Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Like that is not natural. We in the United States work more than anybody else in the motherfucking world.
In the world.
I don't think we know this, but we do. And that is a mindset of slavery and control. And it's a bunch of bullshit because you are not truly, we're taught to identify with what we do at work.
Yeah.
But that is not who we are. And how about we let go of the idea of being laborers and like that's our whole identity and get used to the idea of maybe we can relax into our worth. Maybe we don't have to work to earn our worth. Maybe like we were already worthy the second we were born, and maybe we step into the divine feminine and just let the wisdom and the love download through us and give birth to it rather than the constant.
Listen, where we're from near the equator has plentitude. No? Does it not have a plentitude of animals and fruits and vegetables and sunshine and sunlight? That's but we're lazy because we're used to things naturally coming to us. So but when we've adopted a psyche that comes from cold and depravity and there's not enough to go around, that's what we're living now. That's not natural to us. So again, all we're doing is remembering, and then we have to be the ones to bring that to the forefront. Like we are literal vessels. We are encased with everything that we need. Like we have everything within us. Like, and if you know that, then everywhere that you are is God. Every room you walk into, every room you walk out of, every job you walk into, like our job is just to literally be the presence of God and light and love everywhere that we go. And that's it. That is the word. That is the religion. That is the spirituality. Is how did I leave this room? How did I leave this person more and better and more fulfilled and more light filled and more inspired than they were before? That's it. It's not, you know what I mean? Smile at somebody. That's God. Like that's it. Like support somebody. You know what I mean? Like encourage somebody. Like we literally think we can go to a place that's man-made and sit there on Sundays and that's it. But we can leave there and be horrible human beings. You're not tapped in.
It don't work like that.
It don't work like that.
It don't work like that.
Yeah.
Aguna Sending, hey, Lauren says they can't and won't allow the masses manifest in the old way. That's right. Megan, hi. She says legit. Tamisha says let me be me. Period. Aja Adia says loving your analogies as they point out the 3D amalgamation of what's happening in the 5D systems attempts to commodify the spirit. Come on. Gail says that part. Mary says hello. Saying Molly says whoop, there it is. Tamisha says facts. Malika says word. I mean, Aja says we are confused between duality and the law of polarity. I
Yes,
said that a while ago when you were
yes,
speaking earlier. Mary says, yes, be kind and peaceful in your interactions. I mean, that's
yes.
really what it comes down to. So we only have 5 minutes left. So I
Wow.
want you to, that's crazy how fast it went. I want you to give us your fuel the spirit. So when it comes to spirituality, what is a spiritual lesson that, we can apply?
I'm gonna go, like I said, back to like something that I've been learning is the law of neutrality and just really understanding, like really allowing yourself to just be moved there. I didn't study the law of neutrality. I was moved there and I observed what it was. And so for me, I can be with everything happening right now without having an emotional attachment to it.
Mm,
Without leaving, like I said earlier, we have spiritual markers of the positive. We can also do that with the negative. So we can get stuck in time. Yeah, like in the 3D. Aja knows what I'm talking about. So, like when you remove yourself and you become neutral, you don't allow yourself to be stuck in time or in
mm,
physicality, right? Like when we look at why are some people spirits and some people are not? Some people are more powerful so they can project their soul in a certain place in time. Some people are stuck. And we know about stagnation and we know about heavy energy that allows you to be there. Yeah.
yeah.
So move beyond, like allow yourself to be your soul already is calling you for it to be neutral. Meaning
Mm,
you are a divine being. Like you really are, not just like in saying and reading, but you're a divine being. Yeah. So why allow these identifications to be given to you and you absorb them into your consciousness and you don't even know what they mean? Especially in English, we have so many different meanings and words for one thing. Where we are, through. Yeah. Morning, we say good morning every day, but what does that mean? We're good morning. I'm mourning you, right? I'm good morning you. Like there's so many things that we just absorb without taking on, or like what black means. And we call each other black all the time. But what does black mean? We don't even think about those things. So like allow you to just walk in the world as you, like as your beingness, as your energy that you bring into the world.
mm,
Allow that neutrality of like I'm observing, like be the grand and the great observer. Like I
mm,
just observe, like I allow things to be what they are. I'm not
mm,
entangled in your energy of what you're perceiving yourself to be. Like
mm.
I'm seeing you as the divine because I know I'm the divine, right? So like namaste, like my God sees the God in you. But really be that. Don't just study it. Like we have to move from study to
Yeah.
demonstration. They want
Yes.
you to keep studying the same Bible for 3,000 years. I went to Egypt, as you know, recently. I go, we hire, this is the most profound thing. Like I'm a Black Studies major, history minor. I go into the Cairo Museum. We hire a professor of history who's Egyptian, and he says there is no evidence that slavery ever existed in Egypt. I said, so you let my people go. Oh, Moses, this whole story that I love, like he was like, there's no evidence of it. So now I went to where the people who live are. This is from their words that they're saying there is no evidence that it existed, and we're acting as though it's the truth. So you
Mm,
have to become neutral. When you become so entangled with these things that are not necessarily true, you're losing fragments of yourself, right?
mm.
Call yourself back home. Just remain neutral, observe it, and just allow things to be. So that's what I would say. Is just become as
Mm.
neutral as possible. You don't know what's going on.
That is so powerful. It can be really difficult to be neutral,
I
meaning
know.
I'm not on one side, I'm not on the
Right.
other. I'm not
It's
in a
complete
place of
balance.
judgment. I'm allowing things to simply be. That is not easy. To me, it takes more strength to be neutral than to pick. It's much easier to pick a side because once you pick a side, I'm black, I'm white, I'm gay, I'm straight, I'm Democrat, Republican, I'm whatever, like once you pick a side, that identity is already created. You already
Right.
know what to wear, what to look like, what music to look like, what to say. You know your talking points.
But
It's
you're
very
also taking on the history of whatever you're identifying with. However many thousands of years, all the karma that's tied to whatever you're saying you are now taking ownership of. That's what we have to understand, you know?
so you have to be clearly very careful with what you're identifying with because you may not know the history behind what you are saying you agree with. You may not know the history behind that vibration that you are
Yes.
carrying, and it will manifest. And as you
Yeah.
can see, the ways in which we've divided ourselves is not working for humanity. Like
Right.
it's not, like as you pointed out many times, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, time is up, everyone. I
Wow.
want to thank you for joining us. I haven't got the message that my live is about to end, so I'm gonna give you my message really quickly. But first of all, Jessica, thank you. You always bless us with a new and higher understanding. Um, and my spiritual message is simply at the end of the day, you don't have to do anything when it comes to spirituality or being here on this planet. You don't have to do anything but to be exactly who you are. And who are you? You are perfect and you were born that way. You are not your triggers, your insecurities, your fears, your drama, none of that bullshit you go through that you probably create most of the time. You are not that. That is not you. You a lot of times identify with that stuff, but that's not who you are. People who act ugly and behave in an ugly way, they have simply forgotten who they are. And all you have to do is simply remember that you are an emanation of that divine, invisible, invincible intelligence that I was talking about earlier. You are an emanation of that. We are all emanations of it. God is expressing itself to know itself more through you and simply wants to see itself flower and grow through you. And you have to do nothing but remember how perfect and how beautiful and how kind and how amazing you are. And God gave you every opportunity every single day to decide what reason you're here for. You can be whatever you want to be. And if you don't like what you've decided, guess what? The sun rises again tomorrow, and that's another opportunity to change it fucking again. There is no limit. You recreate and recreate one time and another time another. You're just here to be the biggest, boldest, most beautiful, perfect, aligned, grand, highest, biggest, strongest, loudest, fucking bombest version of yourself, bitch. That's what you are here for. And we want to encourage you on Champagne Ministry. We're going to tell you every Sunday and remind you every Sunday as we drink alcohol, as we turn up, as we live our best life, that you can preach, you can teach, you can live, you can give, you can pray, you can slay, you can do. It don't matter what you do. You can never step away from the perfection that you already are. It's impossible.
Yes.
So I want to say thank you. Malika said this was amazing. Ria says thank you. Megan says amazing. Miguel, thank you for taking me to church. Reverend Rose and our sister Sangria, you are both wonderful. Staying in my lane says wow. Guys, join us every single week. If you want to follow Ascended Radio, Jessica has a podcast and books and all kinds of shit. Follow her. Just click on the previous post and you'll see her information. Thank you so much. Go forth, be blessed, and never forget to get lit, talk shit, and always feel the spirit. Thanks, everybody. Mwah. Thanks.
Love you.
Love you. I don't know how to close this out. I just found it. Bye.
Wait, might as well sing then.
Oh no! Wait a minute. She was about to come back. Hold on. Jessica, why am I calling her like she can hear me? She can't hear me. Jess, if you're here.
I'm coming back.
Wait, I can't.
Why are we like this?
I just kicked you out.
Wait.
It was over and I hit the X to close you out and you were like,
wait. Girl, I tried to lay edges and everything today for you. I was like,
girl, your hair looks bomb. Wait, I don't know. Like, hold on. Let me bring the music back.
Bring it back. Come on,
wait, don't leave, Avi. Avi, don't leave yet.
Don't
they
leave.
They must have like extended the times of the lives. I thought the lives was an hour, but
I think you can ask.
We're gonna be on for 2 hours. Okay, here we go, real quick. We're gonna like hit him with a little riffraff. My mic isn't on because it sounds weird. Woo!
Oh, mine is.
Come on, you gotta believe, baby. Can you hear it?
I hear it. It's not super loud, but I got it.
Can you hear it?
I can. It's a little, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
Gotta believe in me. We already said that not everybody's gifted in every way. Don't be judging us.
What'd you say?
I said we already said not everybody's gifted in every way. Don't be judging us.
Don't be judging us. Don't judge us. IG, it does, Nikki.
I won't ever hurt you.
I told you once before that
Ooh.
I love you
Ooh.
and I need you. So
Ooh.
let me
You
tell you
tell me
once
once
again,
again,
you are
you are
my
my
closest
closest
friend.
friend.
Come on. I'll
I'll
never
never
leave
leave
you.
you.
So
So
hold
hold tight
on
to the
tight,
night.
caress me with
Oh,
your tender
okay, I
care.
forgot. Anytime,
Anytime,
anywhere. Anytime, anywhere.
anywhere.
I see you, Mary.
Come on, Mary.
I see
Come
you,
on, Nikki.
Nikki.
Oh,
Oh, oh.
yeah.
I see you, Nicole.
You like don't hate. Okay, let me get to that part real quick. Hold on. Let me. Nicole,
They're
I
over
really
us
wrote
right
these
now.
lyrics.
They dropped the
I
7
really
real
wrote
quick.
these lyrics. Hold on. Hold on. Where is it? It's so. Wait a minute.
She said,
Okay.
don't hate, concentrate. That's her favorite
Yeah,
part.
the concentrate. Well, I'm about to give it to you right now. Okay. Okay. You gotta hold on.
Woo!
Be strong, be strong. Go within, go within. You will win, bitch, you will win. Oh,
Woo!
don't hate, concentrate, elevate. God is great, He made you feel. Pull you through, yes, He will. Oh, He'll pull you through. That's what He's gonna do. That didn't work.
You
That didn't
gotta
work.
believe. I loved it. Gotta believe. You gotta believe in me. 'Cause I won't ever hurt you. You gotta believe. You gotta believe in me. You gotta
It's
believe
not working.
today.
It's not working out. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I got it this time. Okay, give me one more chance.
Okay,
One more chance. Okay.
I'm gonna give you one more chance.
Okay, I'm gonna do my lyrics. Okay. Hold
Wait, why did Nikki say yikes?
She said, no, that, oh, she said yikes too. Okay, hold on. Be strong, be strong. Go within, go within. You will win, bitch, you will win. Oh, don't hate. Concentrate, elevate, God is He made you. He'll pull you through. He'll pull you through. All the things you gotta do, baby. He'll pull you through. That is what He's gonna do. Believe it,
Gotta believe
did you
in
know
me.
that's what He's gonna do? That's what
Believe
He's
in
gonna do.
me. Nicole said, I don't believe. She's over us. They're done.
The congregation
Who
has
has the 8
spoken.
people that are crazy enough to still be in here?
Yeah, like why are you still here? Okay,
Wait,
so
send a request. I want them to send a request to come on. Who?
who wants
Yeah,
to
like,
come on?
yeah. Who wants to, like, Nikki? Somebody come on.
But we can't. Can you have more than 2 people come on?
Yeah, I heard you can have 4 now. Oh, OG said I love you.
He
Vera,
did
bye.
where?
I saw it. I see it.
No,
Pisces
he
are always full of
didn't. He
love.
said, "Stop singing."
Oh,
Okay. Well, I don't know how to bring more than us on there. Um, you guys. Okay, Nicole. Like, I'm just gonna have to go with Nicole and Nikki. They basically said like, "Stop singing." So
oh, okay.
this is not gonna continue past today. Thank you guys. Bye everybody. Bye Mary. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Tune in next week and there won't be any live singing from Morgan and Jessica.
Stop.
Bye.
Haters.
They hate you. They always do.
Haters gonna hate.
That's what they do.